All right. Let's see if anybody jumps in. Small parts. There we go. There we go. I just made it public. I haven't done this in a while, so. All right. Yo, what's up, Old Dirty? I'm gonna let a few more people jump in here. What up, Nick? No nerds gummies today. I mean, maybe you saw the thumbnail. We got the classics. I don't even know what I'm doing today, guys. Last few weeks it's been so busy that it just was hard to jump on, and then we're getting a little rain. Today was pretty good at the shop, but I figured I'd just jump on and chat with people. Oh man, I'm gonna tell you how that bar spin went, Kurt. It didn't go. Me sleeping on that cement floor at Jason's clubhouse, dude. I could barely ride the next day. Even Andy, who slept in the cot, we were tore up, dude. So it happens when you're almost 50. Yeah, I'll pull the basic down. Don't make fun of me. I was rushing to put it together and I put the gyro plate in the wrong spot, but I did when I was up at Enz's birthday. My buddy Wade gave me a hardcore length SST org cable because he used to work for SST. So I'm going to take the front end back apart and put in an org, the little cup that goes under the headset on. And then Cecil from Basic hit me up today. So hopefully sticker soon. I mean, I just need basically the decals just to finish it all up. So what up, Aaron? What's up, Kookie? Yeah, let's let some more people jump in. We'll pull the base again. I figured I don't know what I'm doing. I still got this horrible. It's not horrible. This EP, it's been so busy. I haven't been able to do anything. And I finally pulled out my stupid, here, look at this. I've been trying to organize my brakes. Remember that one day I was trying to organize my brakes, but it's a shit show. And I was trying to find enough pieces for the AD 990s. And dude, I can't find matching. I mean, I got springs, but I got mismatched bolts and all that. So I don't know. And then I could come in and finish it tomorrow, but it's going to be kind of nice. And we got a new skate park that opened. And I really want to just go check out this bowl. So, yeah. Enz's birthday was fun. We were a little worried driving up that it was going to rain. It was raining the whole way up. We get there. It pretty much stops raining. And we hang out and ride. And then we hit a skate park afterwards. And then on the way home the next day. And then we rode that for about an hour. And then it started raining again. So it was just like perfect timing. But it was fun. It was I think it was just pretty chill. But yeah, it was a good time. Good time seeing old friends. Maybe making a few new friends. Dude, Jason's clubhouse. Dude. I've got some man envy over that thing. That bike's not 2025 though. That's the thing. I wish I could just make my brain send it off brakeless, but it's not going to happen. Old Dirty, do you still have my? You should just text me. I can't tell you how behind I am on DMs on Insta. I mean, I'm sure some people out there hate me right now. He does have cool stuff. Man, Kurt, back me up. that clubhouse slash bar slash his collection, just the way it's laid out, is so good. It's so good in there, dude. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just kind of cleaning things up. Once we get like 20 people, if we do, I'll go grab a basic. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with everything. The only thing, it took me forever to find silencer pegs, like 4 of them, and 2 of them are spray painted, and the other 2 that aren't are different finishes. So I'm like, should I paint them? I don't know what to do. Maybe I'll just leave them. Oh, I'd like to be eating a steak. I'm not gonna rock. REA's frame's still too short of a back end for me. You guys know anybody? We sold all the ones we had. We have one of the Bennett Tan in 21, and I have matching bars if anybody's out there looking for one. I like REA's frame, but I like a 14.1 to 14.3 rear end. So it's just a little too short. Maybe if I was a little younger, I could have gotten away with it. Yeah, Jason's place is dope. It was a fun weekend. His ramp, I've rode it before. Well, I rode it when it was the old place. When you guys see him ride that ramp or dudes do stuff, please understand that ramp is way harder to ride than it lets on. Yeah, I mean, for the size of my shop, I think we did 7 of them, and they all went pretty fast. So, and you're trying to pick and choose colors and then fill the pre-orders and stuff. I'm just psyched you got one and supported the little homie. His ramp is crazy. The new addition he put in, that thing will bite you, dude. It is so tight. This younger dude from the Seattle area, this kid August, who rips, he was serving that new section, dude. So it's all good, dude. I mean, I'm just hyped to still just be here. So, all right, I'll show you this. I'm sure Nick will be into it. I finally got back from Max over at Epic. Finally got the right size spacers. If you can see the little plastic, it's so tiny, dude. Just the tiny little plastic spacer in between the spindle and the inner diameter of the bottom bracket. So this is for the Hooligan. I'm not really going to start on that until this is finished. And then the Hooligan's up. And I've decided I need to find a DK Pro stem, which I've had so many and I always sell them, or preferably a TNT top load is what I want to put on that, because that mongoose stem I have is just barely bent, and you can just feel it when you're riding the bike. And then a pit bowl, and then I got to do some mods. I'm going to do the little stem cap mod for the front for the front peg boss, but that one should go pretty fast once I get it going. 2 of those cranks with the original bearings and cups. If you need those spacers, or if you need the diameters of them, because mine had it, but they were just so beat they didn't work. If you need those, let me know and I can send it through to you. Tell the world the BMX hot take you told me about us. I'm not gonna say that, Kurt. I'm not gonna say that. No, don't put. I just said I feel like he's overrated, but I'm not gonna do that, dude. We're all old guys now. I'm sure he's fine. I have no problem with him, but some dudes freak out about a certain rider. But I'm not doing that. I don't want to start drama. I was just saying, I'm not even getting into it, Kurt. I'm just chilling, dude. I'm just chilling. Look, you made my face red, dude. I don't, Mm-mm. But anyway, I'm super hyped to get these cranks working. So if anybody else out there gets a pair of flights that needs the little plastic shim, we can get you a little thing so you can get them 3D printed. So hyped on that. I'm gonna set that over here. I got a. I should unbox it because I gotta get some bars out of that box. Gary from BMX Museum ordered a 22-inch disc Mad Dog in that orange, and I've been wanting to see that orange color. It looks really good. I don't. Stony Baloney. Who's the guy with his name? I think that's Gons. No, it's not Gons. Yo, Rad Dad, what's going on? Ugh, I got candy in my mouth. Yeah, sorry I hadn't been live for 2 weeks, guys. Work's just been. I mean, it was really nice here. So work was just. I had a lot of service bikes, and you know, my parents are just getting old, and there's just lots of stuff with that. So it's just yeah. Oh, Fiola, no, Eddie's super nice, but he doesn't have his names on all of his shirts. No, but I get Eddie's always been super nice and welcoming anytime I've talked to him or been around him. Yeah, so did you see those goose tires? No, did you? Dude, like I said, I'm so behind on. I just been dealing with some of my parents, and it's just put me behind on everything. Let me go look, Nick. Let me look. Oh, shit. Dude. Hold on. So, Nick, did this bike originally come with the Mongoose DK ripoff stem with the little Mongoose logo on the side? Because that's what I have on my Hooligan, even though I know it's a little too late. If that's what you need, I have it, and it's slightly bent, but you could maybe fix it. Let me know. I'll send you a photo, but this thing looks good. Those cranks, man. I just remember my friends snapping those cranks. But my buddy ODB, his name's Eric. I just posted a photo of him on the Snakebite Insta doing a whiplash on a GT Mach 1. He rode one of those Mongoose DMCs forever, dude. The frame was pretty good, but those cranks were rough. Someone tips Shad $50. Don't. Come on, Kurt. Come on. Come on. This is a bottle cap day, dude. We're chilling with bottle caps. Really? Hold on. What's odd and rare? Which part? Sorry, Sean. Sometimes I get lost. We got 20. I'm gonna go grab the basic. All right, so here's where we're sitting. Here, I'll lift it up once. Let you guys take a gander and I'll kind of go over it. It still needs some. So definitely looks a lot better than how rough it was before. The things I'm looking at that I need to do, I need one pedal cap for this Peregrine pedal. So I have two Tech 77s on here that are older ones that have been machined out for 1 inch. But one of them, where the bolt screws in, stripped, and he's modded it out. that left one. There's like a little bolt, so I got to figure that out. Like I said, I got to get the decals from Cecil. The wheels on this look amazing, dude. Peregrine front, Dragonfly oversized hub in the back. That was NOS up to an Araya. Chrome's great on both of them. Yeah, and then I just got, like I said, I've been tracking down 8990s and FS 990s and whatever. So I got to get the brakes on this. The only thing is, so the two back pegs were chrome. They've been grinded up a lot. So I'm going to take that black paint off of them. Let me know what you guys think. The front one, the right peg, my right is chrome. The left one, it's this weird like gunmetal finish. Does it annoy you guys? Kind of annoys me a little, but I kind of don't care either. So can you see the difference? Should I do something? I was thinking about maybe just rattle canning all of them black, but I thought that was stupid too. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. But guys, this bike's pretty heavy. But I'm pretty hyped on this thing. So what I'm going to kind of just get all the other pieces for it. And then once the decals get here, I'll just film a video finishing it. I'm not going to do nothing. Yeah, it was fun watching those videos. So I've been posted up and gave me a few Canadian videos. I've been posting up Kill BMX. Kind of bummed the Rob Siggety part got flagged. It's probably the best Rob Siggety part ever. So I got to figure something out with that. But the Jay Miron and Asado part's pretty sick. And then what was that other video called? Crazy Shit. It's like Chris Smith and those dudes. So you know, I'll have those videos up this week. So yeah. Anybody's looking for a slightly used 21-inch Credence Black Magic, really good shape. 225. Let me know. Trying to sell it for a homie. Yeah, hold on. I know some people sent some messages on YouTube, so let me answer these. Nick, that bike looks sick. I feel like you should hold on to that one. Have you rode around? How's it ride? This CCR's got 14. It's 14, brakes on the bottom, and it looks like it's got a 19 mil mid in it if you need the BB. It was barely ridden. So yeah, I love the Tech 77s. Yeah, those are Japanese stamped ones that were all customized to be oversized back in the day for a set of basic bars. All right, hold on. Let me go here on my phone. Maybe I just got two. I don't know how to say his name on here, but he's always on live feeds. ACDI wants me to talk about the 89 Haro Master Bash Guard bike. So I don't know if he's talking about my repop, but I do have an 89 Master that was a bunch of my friends. And then one of my best friend passed away, like 12 years ago that I grew up with. I went to his family's house, found the frame, and I'd been rebuilding it. And I had it built for a long time. It was just chrome. He'd taken it down to chrome. And it's been at Nathan Sykes for a long time. He's supposed to paint it. And then I had the decals for it. Here, hold on a sec. My buddy Wolfman's calling. What up, Wolf? Nothing. What are you doing? Okay. I'm just still here at the shop, so I'll just call you at 6 and just see where you're sitting. That sounds right. I mean, yeah, I'll just call you and see where you're at, and if you're close, I'll just chill here. But if you're like half hour or 40 minutes out, I'll just take the wheel to my house. Yeah, I close at 6, but I'm usually here dinking around for a little afterwards. But like I said, I only live a mile away from the shop. No. Well, the shop's in a different spot now, so look up the address. Okay, cool. All right, bye. All right, where are we sitting? Those Skyways, dude, I've rode Vic's Skyway, the Dirt Bros one. When you ride that bike and then you see what Vic's done on it, you're like, dude, you guys are nuts. Like, I don't understand how you guys rode these things, Yeah. Hold on. Sitting low. Can you get me a photo of that? Because I have, if you haven't seen it, I have a Trick Star with a bully bash guard welded onto it. And I have a photo of another dude who has a Trick Star who made a homemade bash guard for it. I would love to see what that 89 what that Trick Star looks like with that 89 bash guard on it. I'd be super psyched if you could give me a photo of that. Oh, dude. Yeah, yeah. Try to send it to my personal Insta. I should probably sit down and go through like all these messages. I hate messages. I feel like that's all my life is. I would be hyped though. I love shitty homemade bash guards. I could see that. That's funny. Oh, so yeah, the 89 bash guard. Whenever I get that back, I'll do a video on it. There's one video on the YouTube channel. You type in like Dyno Slammer versus Haro Master. It comes up. You'll see it together, just kind of mocked up. So yeah, that's mine. It went through. My buddy Chad Carpenter had it when he rode. Then he sold it to my buddy Jason Henry, who rode it, and I have photos of Jason riding it. And then it got sold to my friend Raymond, and it was last bike he rode before he joined the military. And then he passed away when we were like close to 30. So I was just happy to get that bike back since. Oh, you know what? Who else owned that bike? A bunch of my friends. Oh, Ronnie, my buddy Ronnie Hurt, I think, owned it after Chad, and then Jason Henry owned it. Then my friend, yeah. So it's been through a bunch of my buddies. So it's like one that I kind of hold dear. So, yeah. So, hey, I'm not saying it's shitty. I'm just saying I love mods like that. Good VMAX. Hello? All right. No one there? Hear people talking in the background. Let's see what this other message says. So Thomas asks, Macy's not in here, if I could give any bike, and let's shoot this question to you guys too. If you could give any bike the lineage treatment, like what Haro did with all their old school ones, making them modern and nice, what would it be? So mine, probably first off, would be a Wilkerson Airlines. And then probably secondly, kind of cool to have a bully that just wasn't a piece of shit and rode cool because they look cool. So that'd be my two. Let me know what you guys, while I talk to this person that's calling again, let me hear what you guys would have done. Good VMAX? Yeah. What's going on? Yeah. We are switching over to a new website right now. So the inventory is about 80% right. I've been like kind of switching things over to this new one we're going to flip over to. But yeah, we ship stuff every day. No, we don't do e-transfer. Yeah. And if there's something on there you don't see that you're looking for, just give me a holler. And I mean, I can let you know if we have it or if I can just get it shipped to you. Oh yeah, just the bearings for them. Yeah, where you get a little bit of rattle. Yeah. Yep, I know exactly what you're saying. So I just literally this morning, my buddy's car, he got rear-ended and it kind of made his hub a little funny because it was in the back of his like wagon. And we just used the last shim. Yeah, it was a profile. We used the last shim we had on his hub this morning. Yeah, but if you need one, if you wanted to holler at me when we're back open on Tuesday, I could get what you want just shipped over to your house. Yeah, super easy. Okay, sounds good. You too. Bye. Well, they did make they did make 20-inch ones. Did you not see those? They made 20-inch ones. I know Rad Dad's got one. They were pretty good. 22-inch. I mean, I'm into all of it. You know, the War Pig definitely. I feel like the War Pigs are too short. I've rode. I know people love War Pigs, and I get why they love them. But God, I'm like 6'3", so anytime I got on my friend's War Pig, I was like, you know, they're tiny. Yeah, modern day TNT Huafeng Daddy could look cool. Now, the only thing I'd say is I'd get rid of the cantilever brakes and do a 990 on there. So, okay. So yeah. What they did do the 22s in what bike they make the 22 in the Fuelers. It would have been cool. I know. I'm not quite a boomer. I'm Gen X, but I get it. You know, I'm not getting any younger. My bike's. I think my next build. I've never said this before, but I think it's finally time to like maybe lighten my bike up a little. Just because I turned 49 this year. Obviously, I'm not like workout guy. But I always tell people, even the bikes in the 90s when they were super heavy, people are like, oh, does it affect your hop? I'm like, you can do everything you want on it. I could hop super high. A heavy bike just makes you tired or faster. And then once you get to like, half a century, you can get tired pretty fast. So my next bike, my old Brown Solid was about 23.5 pounds. I didn't do anything. So I feel like if I could get my bike back down to that, because mine's at 28.5 right now with the bash guard. If I get it back down to 23, 24, I'd be happy. See, what I always wanted, Sean, is I hated Holmes is because the back ends were so long. But Marvin Lauderly had, and I saw it, he had a Holmes front end with a dirt bike back end on it. And I do feel like S&M, kind of blew it by not making that bike because it was dope. Yeah, Stoney. I mean, when you're younger, that stuff doesn't bother you. But as you do get older, and I really hate to admit it, that I don't know if it beats my body up, but I do know I get tireder faster. Now, I knew if I went down to like a 21 or lighter bike, it'd be getting too weird to like move around. But my bike's almost 30 pounds. You're just trying to do anything you can to milk things longer, Aaron, that is a bad setup. But I mean, so many of us that had it. I had Castillo bars on a dirt bike with an inverted DK stem. So, I mean, still was quite a pull. No, I can't. I mean, there'll be probably a day where, you ditch the pegs. And sometimes I'll be like, oh, I should go to 2 pegs. And I hate 2 pegs. So it'd probably be all pegs would come off, or I just keep 4 on. I have those Shadow Hella Light pegs. They're good. I mean, I'll keep the pegs on because, like I said, my old brown solid Portlander, that was like 23 and a half pounds, and I had those 4 pegs on it. So I just feel like my next bike, I just kind of need to get it down a little. I mean, my frame right now has a crack in the gusset, which isn't that big a deal, but I figure I'll just ride it till the end of the year and then just park it and build up a new bike. So I was telling yesterday, some of the younger riders ran from Eugene. Uh, 2 kids that rip pretty good. One of their dads still rides really good. He's like 47. He's actually the guy that Jason N's got his menstrual cycle from. And we were, just talking about how expensive bike parts were. And I was telling him, remember when Castillo bars came out, and I went into so when I lived in Eugene, Oregon, and I went into RNC Racing, which was a BMX shop, but it was more like they traveled to tracks. They were the shop that Bomber Plates was made out of. It was the same company. So if you went inside, this dude, Taz, Flatland dude, would be making all of the pad sets and plates in the back. But I went in there and they had Castillo bars, and I sweated Castillo. And it was like the bars had just came out, and they didn't carry that much stuff on the floor. And I look at those bars, and they were 30 or $35, and this is like 95. And I remember being like, how the fuck am I going to get $30? Because I just worked enough to where I could ride. I think I was working part-time at a mill right then, but I was paying gas money and rent and all this stuff. And I just remember, dude, I think I just ate ramen for a few weeks so I could just get those handlebars. Ryan, you're not that late. Did you get the Hey, Ryan, did you get the bike together? I want to see a photo of it if you did. Sorry, I'm just getting caught up on a few of these. Sean, you rode the Kink Empire. So we had a Kink Empire prototype here. When Road Fools 2 came through, Jimmy Levan was riding it. The metal bike showed up during that. So he sold that bike to Rich Hirsch. Rich Hirsch rode it in the first Little Devil video. Then he sold it to my friend ODB. He rode it. Then it was in a closet at our house, and it got stolen at a party. So it could be in the dump. It could be floating around Portland. But we had one of the prototypes too. But yeah, Ryan, you're not that late. I ran a top load standard inverted. Yeah. Any thoughts on Scott Breithaupt? I mean, Scott's, rest in peace. Scott was a OG, we wouldn't have like it is if it wasn't for Scott. He basically created, BMX racing, or like what we see kind of as racing nowadays. And he did a lot of stuff here in the 80s. He created SE, created iconic frames. Yeah. I mean, I met Scott a few times, and he was super nice and, great guy. I mean, it's sad that he's gone. I think the largest sprocket that can be ran on that frame, don't quote me, but it could be 33. I know a 30 for sure can, but it might be 33. So Need for Weed, what up? Yep. RIP to my homie. Next weekend, if anybody's here in the Pacific Northwest, we are having a memorial jam for Davey. And it's up at the University Park, skate park up by Tacoma. So it really starts going down probably the memorial part around, like, I think it's 4 or 5. It's on the flyer, but people should be there all day riding. So if you're up in the area, come by. Oh, yours was Walsh's old friend. When you said that, I was thinking Corey Walsh. I was like, really? But that makes sense. For some reason, I could see Byron. And Byron's is he from Connecticut or upstate New York? Isn't he from that area? But yeah, That makes sense that Greg would have had one. Hold on, guys. My wife's calling. Hey, Boo. What's going on? I'm doing a live feed. It's okay. Yeah. I'll just be home probably a little bit after 6. My buddy Wolfman's getting that wheel, so I may wait here just a little bit for him after work, or just having me be at the house. You can hang up. I love you. I'm far away from the computer. Love you. My wife was like, "Is everybody in the live feed hear me right now?" She goes, "I'm hanging up." Yeah, we've been talking about Byron Anderson a bunch lately. He's definitely kind of an underrated guy for some of the things he did back in the day. I mean, Chicago bars, I mean, there's a point where they go too far. My bars are a little forward. I mean, you got to think when dudes were riding 19 3/4-inch top tube bikes, riding vert, and you need more room, they're going to push the bars forward a little. Now, there's a point where it goes too far, but I could be guilty of a little Chicago here and there. I'm not going to lie. So, longer frames help. Dan Crook, he pulled his bars back, though. His were insane back in the day, dude. I guess it was only like 3 years ago. But I mean, the dude rips so hard. But I'd see his bike, and I was like, him and Nastasio, Nasty's bars have crept forward a lot. Good, V Max. Oh, it's the who guy? Which guy? Oh, no, they didn't. They were supposed to. Here, 1 sec. Let me track these things really quick. 1 second. I'm going to jump on the computer. Let me get my email really quick. They're both coming from different spots, so the headset was the closest one, so. So it's UPS, and I don't ever really get things on Saturday, but it's still scheduled to be delivered today, but I don't know if I believe it, because usually we get things by now. But it is saying today. I mean, I'm only here for another hour. Maybe if you were going to dip out in the neighborhood, I'd just give me a call when you're leaving the Kenton area, and I can let you know if it's here. But usually we don't get shipments on Saturdays, But it's saying today, so I fingers crossed it could show up. No, we're open on Tuesday. I would think so. So, but yeah, if you want to call me before you leave the neighborhood, I can let you know if it showed up. Okay, then we'll just holler at each other on Tuesday. All right, sounds good. Bye. All right, what do we got here? Yeah, Charlie's bars. I mean, Charlie's an enormous human, though. I don't know if Dan Kruk is, and then Nasty is like my height or a tiny bit shorter, but Charlie's really big. There's a point, like I remember, bar spinner, Ryan always had pretty Chicago bars. I mean, you just get so tall that there's only so far it can go, Oh, see you later, UFO battleship. I think that's what that meant. Peace. I never saw that, but I can see that. I can see that, Aaron. That's funny. Grilled cheese and tomato soup sounds nice. I think we're having some salmon tonight, so I'm not going to argue with that. So, but yeah, so I was just running things kind of loose tonight. I'm looking at basic over there. It does look nice, but I'm just trying to stay on point. That thing, once I get the stickers, I'll finish it. That's plastic seat. You know, to be honest, I think sometimes the plastic seats were more comfortable than some of the modern pivotals. I feel like when you sat on them, they flexed more, where the new ones are harder plastic and they don't, where the old ones would kind of flex, if that makes any sense. That seat on that bike right now, it doesn't feel that bad at all. I mean, to be honest though, it's funny since I own a shop, people will come in and be like, I need the most comfortable BMX seat you have. And you're like, well, it's kind of an oxymoron because there really isn't a thing as a comfortable BMX seat at all. What up, TS Visuals? You know, there'll always just be or you'll see some dude and they'll like build up like what bike did I see the other night? I saw a dude, I was just perusing through the BMX museum, and a dude had a blue bully, built up pretty nice. And then he had just this fat spring beach cruiser seat on it. And I was just like, okay, you know, old guy needs his comfort seat. The tree seats felt pretty good. I mean, they still don't feel, I mean, nothing's like crazy comfortable where you're like, oh shit, I'm gonna jack my seat up and, you know, do 30 miles, you know. Tree seat was nice though. The tree seat was nice. It looked good too. Aaron did ride a pretty big seat. I mean, when we were all learning bar spins, we'd all go down to the college campus and steal like turbos and like kind of fatter mountain bike seats because like the Dominators and GT seats were just too hard to pinch. So we jacked those, but there is a point where you're like, this seat's gotten out of control. Yeah, I always liked Rad Dad. I always liked the GT, not the drop nose, but the freestyle version of that. That seat always felt pretty comfy when I rode it, you know? Hey, man, I have fun on the museum. It's fun to dink around and look at bikes. SM does have that the couch seat too, but they're just foam noodles and duct tape. I mean, I've seen some monstrous duct taped, you know, where they put a tennis ball on the nose, duct tape everything so that seat just locks in for a bar spin. I never rode a mirror seat. I thought they were kind of ugly back in the day. They're just too bright for my bike back in the day. The shape was all right though. The heaviest seat I think I ever had was, what was it? It was the Primo Pentagram. It was like hemorrhoid, but super beefed up with oversized rails. And I just remember that thing was so heavy. And I got it. I thought it was just a new version of the hemorrhoid. And I remember it didn't even fit my seat guts. Like I had to file all my seat guts down to get these rails in there. So, yeah. I mean, to be honest, you give me a Dominator seat, I think it's pretty comfy. Primo Balance seat was a nice seat. That was a nice seat. That seat, when were those? About 2007. That was a good looking seat. I never rode a fast. See, when everybody wore girl jeans up here, which I was guilty, I'd wear girl jeans. I'd sew them in. But we didn't really ride fat seats. Most of the dudes up here rode like the thinnest seats. Like that's when like Eddie Cleveland and those dudes, that style of bike was getting popular. So super slam seat, super thin plastic minimalistic seat, and just for back then, wide big bars, which they're not even as wide or as big as the bars nowadays. We were just all riding uncut slams. But yeah, I was riding. Oh, that would have looked good on a Fly Pantera. Fly Panteras were sick. Yeah, the seats were slammed. Very true. I slammed my seat for a while, and I just couldn't do it. You know, in the early 00s, had my seat slammed for a little, but then I kind of just had one fist. And then, like, I don't know which bike I built, but somewhere around 2012 or so, I just jacked my seat up like I used to have it in the 90s and the 80s. Mine's like two fists. Might even be a little bit more. Hoder's seat's still higher than mine, but not by much. And honestly, I kind of like it more because, like, when I do a turn down, like when the seat was low, man, that thing would always just get me. So yeah, I like a tall seat. Yep, when my micro gearing came out, everybody rocking the 25.9, just spinning out, running through town. For the T-whips, yep. Oh yeah, but I mean, you can look at every decade, and there's some goofy trend. I mean, I think it's pretty wild now that the kids want to wear Jenkos. And I'm probably older than a lot of people on here. I thought Jenkos were super whack. Like in the early 90s, we used to wear I'd wear like blind skate jeans that were big, or we get 40 waist Ben Davis and cut off the bottoms. But then towards the mid 90s, we were just wearing like baggy, silver tab jeans. And that's when all the mall kids and stuff started wearing Jenkos, have little animals in their pockets. It's just funny, like nowadays, like you're a kid 15 to 19, you got these big old britches on, and it's just crazy. It's just crazy to see stuff roll back around when you start getting older. But no hate, like, dude, I wore crazy things. So yeah, the pegless thing did come and go, but it'll come back. Everything comes back. Everything rolls through, uh everything just, if you look at BMX from the beginning, there'll be a new adaptation or something, but there's going to be some pegless guy that comes back, rave kids rock Jenkos. Yeah. I just remember I had big pants, and I remember I'd always have to cuff up the drivetrain side, especially since when I was doing them, wearing them, we were riding 44s. So I'd always have like one side cuffed up, and you can see my shin pad hanging out. So Welgo MG1s, that was the pedal during the 2005 to 2007. So yeah, I just wasn't in Jenko, but I think it was like the generation under me that was. I mean, I think that's kind of what pushed everybody towards girl jeans. I mean, after the baggy kind of silver tabs, I just started rocking regular 501s, and I'd wear Ben Davis, like ones that fit me. And things just creep. You're trying to hang out with ladies, just tighten those pants up, hang out with some chicks. They're stretchy, you're ripping, don't have to worry about them getting caught in the chain. Good BMX. Okay. 12-inch. Do you need front and back, or just what? So I have a front one right now. If you wanted to call me Tuesday, I could get you a rear. So I mean, it's something I can get you. I mean, usually when I get them in, I have to order a wheel set, and it's usually replacing it because somebody ran it over. So the last one I got, I had to give the guy the rear wheel, and I have a front. So, but yeah, if you wanted to call me Tuesday, I get one ordered up for you and get it in, and we can dial you back in. Usually those take about 3 business days to get in. So, okay. Yeah, I mean, it's just not a common thing. Most time when a person gets a 12-inch, those wheels will last forever. But yeah, if you just want to call me Tuesday, I can do my best to get it before you guys leave. All right, cool, man. But Dad just ran over his kid's 12-inch fit. They need wheels. All right, let me get caught up on these. The Odyssey Z77, is that the Cobra seat, or is it the different one? Odyssey made some nice seats back then. Aaron, I like cargos. I had some, we used to go to, in the early 90s, we'd go to like the Goodwill or whatever, and they'd always have like old military cargo pants. And I remember I loved rocking those with some high top Airwalks, especially since they always had the string on the bottom you could tie up. I think I liked cargo pants until I started doing turn downs, and then I was like, no more cargo pocket. Need for weed? No, there's kids that ride BMX, dude. I go out to the jumps here. There's plenty of kids. It fluctuates. It goes through towns. Now, kids nowadays, compared to when a lot of us were kids, have a lot more things vying for their attention, and a lot more things trying to take. That people look at BMX, they're like, okay, where can we take the money from that? Mountain biking, scooters, like all the stuff you brought up. But there's still plenty of kids that ride. I don't know where you're from, but now, do I see as many kids just riding down the street in packs of kids? No, I mean there's less, but there's still plenty of kids that ride, but they do have a lot like battling for their attention. Oh, the Senate. I remember Senate they sponsored Rick Thorne and Dennis McCoy for a while. The UGP cargo shorts were sick, and the pants were sick. Like, I liked the cargos. They just were sketchy. My buddy Bristol, I think, had every color of the shorts and pants. Yeah, the dads sound good, but here's the problem, Old Dirty. They're leaving for a family vacation next Friday. So I don't know if, it's going to be cutting hairs getting him those wheels. So, I mean, I have a front one in the shop, but 12-inch wheels aren't something I usually try to stay stocked up on. Oh, shit. Rad Dad, let's, why don't you, when I get off tonight, why don't you just call the shop right when I get off, and we'll dial that all in. I don't think so, Sean, but that would be funny to think. It would be funny to think. So, I don't know what I got over here. I just got a messy desk here, messy work area. Where are you guys riding this weekend? Anybody riding? I know it's Saturday today, but anybody riding tomorrow? I might wake up early, and we got a few new skate parks. We've gotten like 4 parks in the last 2 years, and they opened up this super sick bowl last weekend. So I might wake up early and sneak over there and just take some chiller runs and see how it feels. sunny. Here's the thing with the UK though. You guys, and I know, it's a full country. How do you guys have such crazy indoor parks? Because are those like kind of publicly funded, or do they work with like your like parks commission or something? Because you guys just have the craziest indoor parks, and we just barely. You have an indoor park in the United States that barely is hanging on. Your jumps are still tarp? Damn. Yeah, Ryan, we're gonna go. Well, we have 2 tracks in the area. The Newburgh one, they've been running races for a while. And it's like soil tack and asphalt berms. But the track that I really like racing, not that I'm a super race guy, is Malala, and it's a full dirt track. And they just opened last weekend. It kind of rained a little on opening day, but I think me and a few dudes are gonna go. My membership's expired, so probably next Friday I'll go sign up. I was gonna pull the race bike down and tune it up this week because I haven't ridden it for like a year and a half. So, if you guys want, I'll bring the race bike down. I got to bring it down to see what I need to do to it. If you guys want me to bring the race bike down, I'll bring it down. No, I've never seen Barry Nobles up here. All of our nationals. Whoa, thank you, Aaron. I super appreciate that, man. Whenever we have nationals up here, they never have the pro class ones, and we do have some pretty sick tracks. And in Oregon, the best track I'd say is in Eugene, and in Washington, it'd probably be SeaTac. Both of them could do a pro race, but I don't know why they don't have, the pro series doesn't come up here. It's kind of annoying. Yeah, Barry Nobles, and he rips at everything: racing, skate parks, trails. Dude kills. I did 2 years ago at the Lumberjack Nationals in Eugene. Billy Griggs was there racing, and I kind of timmied out on Billy Griggs. I was just hyped to see Billy Griggs. So, yeah, I wished our government would fund some of the indoors like that because, especially up like, on the states that are further up, like where I live, I think our weather's pretty similar to your guys's in the UK. Pissy rain, so in the winter, you know, you're trying to ride, but we have the most skate parks out of any state in the United States, but maybe one is covered, and we don't really have a decent indoor. There's some little rinky dink ones, but they're horrible to ride. So elves were sick. My buddy used to race for Elf. Okay, I'm gonna run up and grab my race bike now that I'm thinking that, because I'm just gonna bring it down here so I know to dial it in, and you guys can take a peek at it. I'm back, Aaron. Can you guys see me? That was funny. I walked upstairs, grabbed bike, walked down. I looked at the monitor, and I'm like, "Oh, I'm not here." I was like, "God dang it!" Sure likes to do that to me. Anyway, here's my race bike. It's an old S&M Speedwagon. I painted. It was all chrome. I hate chrome bikes, so I painted the front, left the back chrome. It's nothing crazy. So, Got TNT hubs on it. Profile Elite freewheel. Got some back plate stickers. So we'll dust this guy off. It's pretty scratched up. I love the drivetrain too. It gets me hyped. Dude, Schwinn Stangs are very underrated. Those bikes are so nice for the time. So nice for the time. So now I need to tune that up a little. Put some air in the tires. Yeah, it's got V brakes. I wish it didn't. I wish it just had 990s. I hate V brakes because they're just so finicky. They get bumped or something. The springs just aren't that strong. I wish they were just tougher, you know. I just prefer to have a 990, but that's a great race bike. It's enough for what I need. That's awesome. I like brakes too. I'd rather have candies on that thing than V brakes. What V brakes do I got on there? I got some Supercross ones on there. What up, Stack? I hate disc brakes too, yeah. Damn, Sentinel, you gotta send me a picture of that. I'd love to see it. The Moeller bike's pretty sick. We sold the 991 to my buddy. I think the standover's a little too tall for me. I wish it had like a 9.5-inch standover. The 10-inch makes it look so boxy to me, and then makes the wishbone look like it's too steep. But the Moellers are nice. Like I said, I got that orange disc one for Gary from BMX Museum here. And but I would prefer the 991. I thought looked nicer. I see what you're saying. I felt like I should have hit the side of the TV. It's storming outside right now, so I'm pretty sure that's why it's doing it. So, God. The man just doesn't want me to live stream. That's all it is. It's a conspiracy. I think we're going to probably have more disconnections because it's like starting to rain really hard outside. So we'll probably just cut it now so I don't just have to keep reconnecting every 5 minutes. Hopefully, I'll try to come up with something fun for us to do next week. But yeah, sit low. Send me some of those photos of that Sting and that Bashkar bike. I'd love to see him. Rad Dad, do you want to call me here in like 10 minutes at the shop, if that's cool? Always good chatting with you, sitting low. Aaron, you too. Hope everybody gets to ride tomorrow, but yeah, I just think we're gonna just keep running into hiccups. So, yeah, if Rad Tyler, if you just want to call me in like 10 minutes here at the shop, we'll figure out that gyro. And then Old Dirty, send me a message, just an updated message on my Insta, and I'll give you my number. So I'm sorry about the connection, guys. I do my best, but I'm only one middle-aged man trying to navigate a world of computers when I didn't even take a computer class when I was a kid. So, yeah. All right. Thank you guys for hanging. We'll jump into some more bikes here soon. And, yeah, we'll all talk soon. Thank you.